ABC 10 News starts now with breaking news.
Breaking news, the state is easing restrictions on private gatherings starting tomorrow. Good evening, I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. Those new guidelines allow for private gatherings of up to 3 households. Now, the gatherings must take place outdoors, and if it's at someone's home, then guests may go inside only to use a bathroom. Participants still need to stay 6 feet apart and wear a face covering. The gathering should be kept to 2 hours or less.
And new at 11 o'clock, President Trump is authorizing his team to restart negotiations with Democrats on a stimulus bill. And he's reportedly making a bigger counteroffer. Earlier this week, the president said he was calling off the talks. Now reports say he's upping his offer from $1.6 trillion to $1.8 trillion. The House Democrats passed what was a $2.2 trillion bill. Besides that divide, there are still some sticking points on how the money will be spent. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said today a deal is still unlikely.
A week after he went to the hospital to get treated for COVID-19, the president's health is still in question. White House physician Dr. Sean Conley is revealing new details about Trump's condition, saying today the president is clear to resume his public schedule as soon as tomorrow. Conley has previously made false statements or avoided fully answering questions about the president's treatment. White House aides are still refusing to answer when the president last tested negative, a crucial detail for contact tracing.
I can't reveal that at this time. The doctors would like to keep it private.
Now, before the president contracted the coronavirus, the White House said it would disclose his COVID test results. Sources tell ABC News that President Trump will host an in-person event at the White House tomorrow where he will reportedly address the crowd from the balcony.
Next week's debate between the president and former Vice President Joe Biden is officially canceled. Now Biden will participate in a town hall in Philadelphia instead. ABC News will host the event on Thursday, October 15th. It will be moderated by ABC News chief anchor George Stephanopoulos. You can watch it live right here on ABC 10. The coverage begins at 5 p.m.
And we will have live coverage of the Senate Judiciary Committee hearing for Supreme Court nominee Amy Coney Barrett. Opening statements begin Monday at 6 a.m. You can tune in to 10 News or you can watch it live on 10news.com or free on a mobile app on your favorite streaming device.
Here is the latest on coronavirus in San Diego County. 357 new cases were reported today, bringing the total to 49,823. There were 2 more deaths, bringing our total to 821.
Widespread rain and strong winds are continuing to punish Louisiana. Hurricane Delta came ashore tonight and set records. It is the first Greek alphabet hurricane to make landfall. ABC's Elwin Lopez reports tonight from Lafayette, Louisiana.
Hurricane Delta made a record-breaking landfall in southwest Louisiana, packing 100-mile-per-hour winds, sparking power outages in Lake Charles. That area already hard hit by Hurricane Laura just 6 weeks ago.
I drive around and see all this debris, and it's pretty rough. After tonight, tomorrow, that stuff's gonna be blown all over the place again.
Thousands of homes there still damaged, covered in tarps. Now Delta pummeling Welsh, Louisiana with heavy rain. And in Crystal Beach, Texas, strong wind gusts peeling off this protective metal shed. The fast-moving storm is bringing flash flooding far inland. Millions of people from Texas to Mississippi keeping an eye on what it will do next.
It is very clear that southwest Louisiana is going to get more of a punch from this than we would like to see.
Tonight, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama all under a state of emergency.
You just hope for the best and prepare for the worst. There's going to be some worry no matter what, but we've been through it before. We just take it one thing at a time.
In parts of Louisiana, we could see up to 11 feet of life-threatening storm surge before this storm moves out of here and into the northeast. Elwin Lopez, ABC News, Lafayette, Louisiana.
And our weather anchor, Jen Dela Cruz, is tracking that storm tonight as well. Jen.
Yeah, Steve, this is an area of the country that really did not need another storm to come barreling in. And unfortunately, we are seeing that. But The conditions aren't going to get better. It will be weakening into a tropical depression overnight. There are watches and warnings all the way up through Tennessee, tropical storm warnings and flash flood warnings now as well. Winds are at 60 miles per hour, so it is a tropical storm and it will be continuing to decrease as it moves into the Tennessee River Valley, and portions of New England will get battered by a lot of rainfall as well all the way into next Tuesday.
Thank you, Jen. And tonight, questions about what a congressional candidate didn't report on her tax return. Both candidates, hoping to win the 53rd district, released their returns. We asked Team 10 investigator Adam Rakusin to look into them.
Tax returns. They're a part of campaign season from the presidential level down to the local level. That's no different in the 53rd district congressional race between Sarah Jacobs and Georgette Gomez. Both candidates released 3 years of tax returns. After looking through the numbers, Gomez's returns show some discrepancies. Gomez's 2017 tax return shows she reported almost $60,000 from pension income but reported zero in actual wages. According to Transparent California, Gomez made more than $75,000 that year from her job as a San Diego City Council member, and an additional $17,000. University of San Diego professor of law Ariel Giroux-Kleiman specializes in federal tax law. We asked her to look at the filing.
There were no reported wages, so that there was a zero on the line where you would normally report your wages.
The numbers on Gomez's 2018 return also don't match the dollar amount she reported on a financial disclosure report for congressional candidates. The tax discrepancies were first noted in a story by the San Diego Union Tribune. In response to the discrepancies, Gomez released this statement saying in part, "Like most people, I trusted my accountant to file my taxes accurately, and I was shocked to find out that my 2017 returns were not properly filed. My accountant has taken responsibility for the errors, but I too take responsibility, and I filed a corrected return and paid the back taxes."
If you make a mistake on your tax return or underreport something, or if you overreport something, you can file an amended tax return. You have to do it within a certain amount of time.
The Gomez team has been sending out emails pushing for her opponent Sarah Jacobs to release her returns. A spokesperson for Jacobs tells ABC 10 News the Gomez campaign spent weeks misleading voters and crying wolf about Sarah's tax returns, only to have the real story be their candidate's own negligence. With 25 days until Election Day, now would be a good time for the Gomez campaign to get their own house in order. ABC 10 News looked through Jacobs' tax returns. It shows most of her income came from dividends and capital gains. About $7 million in 2019, $2 million in 2018, and around $4 million in 2017. Jacobs' tax returns show she paid around $3 million in taxes over those years. Adam Rakusin, ABC 10 News.
ABC 10 News reached out to the tax preparer listed on Gomez's returns for comment. We've not yet heard back. The governor of Michigan is calling on President Trump to take stronger action against domestic terrorists. Court proceedings have now begun against 13 men accused in a plot to bomb the state capitol and kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Whitmer says the president has given violent extremists tacit approval.
This White House has a duty to call it out, and they won't do it.
President Trump tweeted that he does not tolerate any violence. He called her out for criticizing him when it was his Justice Department and federal agents who thwarted the plot and busted the suspects. He also criticized Whitmer, saying that she's done a terrible job for her state.
We know the type of person my dad is, and we know he's a fighter. So we keep that in mind with this, this new lead.
The family of a missing Southern California firefighter is hoping for his safe return. Authorities in Mexico say that they have arrested 2 people linked to this case. Our ABC 10 News reporter Anthony Pura has more on what led Mexican authorities to the arrest.
Authorities say the 2 people arrested had bank cards with the missing firefighter's name on them, and they used them at different businesses in several cities in Mexico. Francisco Aguilar is still missing. The 20-year veteran of the Los Angeles Fire Department, who goes by Frank, headed to his second home in Baja California in August and disappeared. Our media partners, Televisa, was at Friday's news conference when authorities in Mexico announced they arrested a couple connected to his disappearance. The arrest happened Thursday. The couple identified as Fanny N. and Santos N.
Hearing the update and that they've made an arrest, we're closer. We're getting closer to finding my cousin.
That's Aguilar's cousin Nancy on the phone, one of his relatives that live in San Diego County. His daughters in the Los Angeles area hope that their father will soon be found.
We know the type of person my dad is, and we know he's a fighter. So we keep that in mind with this, this new lead.
According to authorities in Mexico, Aguilar had arranged to meet with one of the suspects, Fanny, at a Rosarito address. They believe it could have been a setup to kidnap him, and Aguilar tried to escape. Authorities say neighbors heard gunshots and they found bloodstains in the area, but authorities have not located Aguilar.
And we never thought this would ever in a million bajillion years happen to us. This is stuff you only see on the movies, and we're living it.
Authorities continue to search for Aguilar, questioning the suspects for leads.
I have faith that he's still out there alive and that we are going to find him.
Anthony Pura, ABC 10 News.
We are all hoping for the best for him. Camp Pendleton Marines fighting the Creek Fire since mid-September are on the move once again. Around 250 local Marines have been moved to the August Complex fire in Northern California. That fire is over 1 million acres and only 65% contained. In a release, officials said that personnel are routinely shifted from one fire response to another where they can have the most impact. Those Camp Pendleton Marines are set to return home October 20th.
The city of San Diego is now suing, trying to get money back from the debacle over a downtown high-rise. The city did a lease-to-buy deal for the former Sempra Energy headquarters on Ash Street, but the building has been almost unusable for 3 years because of asbestos and numerous other problems. It's cost taxpayers tens of millions of dollars. The city is suing the company that arranged the deal as well as other defendants.